Canada to stop evacuating Afghans soon. The Canadian government will cease evacuation operations in Afghanistan within days after President Joe Biden informed G7 countries on Tuesday that he intends to withdraw all American soldiers from Kabul airport by August 31st. After 3 or 4 days, the U.S. military position at Hamid Karzai International Airport will be reduced, a senior government source told the Globe and Mail. The Globe did not identify the unnamed official who was not allowed to disclose Mr. Biden's decision. The Taliban announced Tuesday that they do not want any more Afghans to leave on evacuation planes, complicating the mission's final days. General David Fraser, who led over 2,000 NATO soldiers in Afghanistan, said the U.S. withdrawal plan directly affects the Canadian timetable. One of the reasons Mr. Biden kept his August 31st deadline was the heightened potential of terrorist attacks on U.S. forces by Islamic State terrorists, staunch foes of the Taliban. But, according to White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, the rescue effort will conclude before the August 31st deadline because the military requires time to withdraw its 5,800 Marines and troops from LAX. The Taliban opposed any proposals to extend the August 31st deadline and promised to prohibit Afghans from getting to the airport, adding to the urgency of the situation. Despite the Taliban's declaration, the Canadian government will not clarify whether it still advises qualified Afghans to go to the airport. Justin Trudeau requested the Taliban after the G7 conference to allow Canadians and former Afghan interpreters and support personnel to safely travel to the airport. The ability of Mr. Trudeau to persuade the Taliban to provide safe transit to the airport might also be hampered by a vow made last week not to acknowledge Afghanistan's new hardline authorities. On Tuesday, he said Canada may recognize a Taliban-led Afghanistan provided they act properly. After the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Montreal Canadiens for the Stanley Cup on July 31st, Mr. Trudeau last spoke to Mr. Biden on August 2nd. The two leaders did not address the situation in Afghanistan or the president's plan to withdraw U.S. troops by the end of the month. For his part, White House Deputy Press Secretary Christopher Marr said Secretary of State Antony Blinken had called Foreign Affairs Minister Marc Garneau on Monday to address the Afghan issue. In addition to the delays in selecting passengers for flights to Canada, the turmoil at Kabul airport has hindered Canada's evacuation operations. Mr. Trudeau said Tuesday that his federal election campaign is not meddling with the Afghan issue. To combat the epidemic and rebuild the economy, Mr. Trudeau said he has to call the election. In addition to Afghanistan, he added, Canadians are worried about the epidemic.